Horror Mike gets me hot.
The countdown to terror has begun.
The signal's getting stronger now. It won't be long.
Come quick! The monster done ate my pappy!
Do you really think this was a bear duck?
Highly unlikely.
First man on Mars. Once he was human.
There's something shiny in the rock. This is really starting to sting.
Now a bloodthirsty monster, killing and devouring the young. And not so innocent.
Let's take a look at this, huh?
I'm gonna blast the thing back to hell.
Oh, shit.
First man on Mars.
You mean there's aliens out here? Shit. I don't want to get abducted and anal.
This film is not rated.
Oh god, yes, Horror Mike. Horror Mike gets me hot.
I love Joyce. And there were times when her voice seemed to whisper to me. Forget it, Lou. It's not too late if you stop now. But then I'd see that it had to be done.
Well, that doesn't make any sense. Don't. I have to travel.
Baby, you aren't going anywhere. I bet they had it coming. Well, nobody has it coming to them. That's why nobody can see it coming.
Never mind the bollocks, here's Horror Mike.
Folks, good evening and welcome to the Horror Mike Friday night noir spectacular. Yes, you heard that right. We are getting heavily into the dark side of cinema with some really fine noir films that we have lined up. A couple of that have just landed on Tubi that I think you're going to want to watch, and including the previous trailer that you just watched, The Killer Inside Me, which is just hardcore. It's brutal film, very noir, no doubt about that. And then we had Dressed to Kill, the trailer before that. Brian De Palma, of course, one of our great American filmmakers. I definitely put him in the top 10 of all time, with Dressed to Kill, the trailer for that. And before that, my film, of course, First Man on Mars, which is not noir, okay? It is sci-fi horror comedy. But, hey, you know, what the hell? I'm selling my film. Just go to horroranthologymovies.com and pick yourself up a copy on Blu-ray today. You'll be glad you did. But in any case, without further ado, folks, let's take a dark turn over to the chat and see what we have going there. Shall we? We've got a few in the crowd. Michael Taylor is here. Eric Boyd is here. Good God, man. Werewolf is here. Excellent, excellent. Meyer is here. Werewolf's got something on his mind. Moving house next week. This is the last live stream I will watch in this relaxing position on the couch. Hopefully I will be set up for next week. Good luck with the move, Werewolf. It's always a pain in the arse. Let's put it that way, folks. It's just always a pain in the arse. Good Lord. NOIR is talking about the infused beverage he's currently consuming responsibly. How dare you, sir? Always consume irresponsibly. Come on now. No, just kidding. Don't listen to me. Listen to NOIR, folks. He's the responsible one. Eric is plugging my film. Good God, man. Thank you for posting that in the chat. I appreciate it. And Fireball Comics joins us tonight. Excellent. Folks, as I said, it is a kind of noir night. And I've been a busy little beaver doing a few things. And I was going to do this as the intro. I love this one. But I did the, what is it? Honor Blackman. Never mind the bollocks, but this one I also have, which is pretty cool.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's the Horror Mike Show.
There we go. The little sexy British bot on the scene right there for your entertainment value. But in any case, folks, first, let's get slightly serious. Now, this film is definitely dark. It's sinister. It's absolutely full of creeps, but it's also real, based on absolute fact. And I did finally see it a few days ago. First, I had some problems. First time I went to the theater, they had the wrong times posted for this film, and I've heard about this. Not only have I heard about like people being given the wrong times, the wrong showings in the cinema, but I've heard things like air conditioner turned off, emergencies like alarms pulled during the film when it was starting, all kinds of crap that's been going on with this film. And you may have heard about this too. It's currently making history. There's no doubt about that. It's, when we're talking about independent film, folks, we're talking about The Sound of Freedom, currently playing in cinemas and primarily in AMC. AMC picked this up, and I'm sure they're damn glad they did, because this $14 million film has now grossed close to $150 million. Let that sink in, folks. It's been like, I don't know, a month in the cinemas. This film is kicking every other film's ass in terms of cost to profit. I believe it's currently the third or fourth top ranking film in the country. And this doesn't happen often with a film, especially now, a $14 million film with perhaps a $10 million P&A, that's prints and ads, very small. So you're talking about maybe a $25 million total cost versus what is quickly approaching $150 million gross, which is incredibly impressive. Now, one of the last times that this type of thing happened, as you may recall, was I think it was 1999 or perhaps the year 2000. It was the Blair Witch Project. Now, the interesting thing about the Blair Witch Project is that it was made for $60,000. That was the filming budget, right? But what Sony did was, when they acquired the film, they dumped $25 million of P&A, prints and ads, advertising. You may have recall it was one of the most brilliant marketing schemes perhaps ever devised for a movie. And it just got people in the theaters. Of course, to date, it has grossed well over $250 million. So you're looking at, once again, a similar kind of thing where in reality a $25 million cost for a film has grossed whatever the hell that is that 10 times the amount, over 250 million. It's probably well beyond 250 million. That figure was from several years ago. So we're looking at a similar type of phenomenon right now with The Sound of Freedom. And fortunately, when I went back the second time, I didn't get screwed around. It was the correct time. I went in, watched the film, no problems. Very glad I did. Now, it's something, of a landmark film in that sense that, yes, it has grossed so much. It's done so well in the cinemas, especially for an indie film. Hollywood, it is just completely trashed Indiana Jones. A film with a $200 million budget. It just creamed the shit out of that. And once again, yeah, with your cost per, budget, it's still creaming all of the other films. There's no doubt about it. It's beating the shit out of pretty much everything. And the one thing I got to say about it after seeing the film, and you take a look at two things. One, the film is based upon real life. It's the story of this guy that was working for the Department of Homeland Security. He got on a case of child trafficking and discovered that while they were busting pedophiles, which is great, they never found the kids. So no kids were ever saved. So he took it upon himself to go down to, and most of the film takes place in Colombia, to find kids that were actually held as slaves. Believe it or not, right now, folks, there are probably more slaves on the face of the earth, literal slaves, whether they're children or adults, than there ever have been in the history of the world. I mean, and one of the incredible things is a lot of those slaves are here in the United States, and they are trafficked. They're sex trafficked. They're used as, workers, slaves, whatever the hell you want to call them. But they are definitely the textbook definition of a slave. And so what this guy did, as I said before, he goes down to Colombia, and that's where most of the action takes place. And yes, there is definitely some amazing action in this film. It is a solid crime. I would call it an international crime thriller. That's what I would call it. If I were just going into a cinema to watch a film like this, I would definitely give it a 4 out of 5 stars. Being that it's based upon reality, I would give it 5 out of 5 because of the message. This thing needs to get out. It has gotten out. The message has gotten out. And that is a big thing. It's not just another film. This is real life, folks. This is actually happening. So this is going to be spoiler free. I'm not giving away anything. Jim Caviezel, who plays the lead character, is fantastic. I consider him one of the great actors today. Just watch The Passion of the Christ. Good Lord. The guy was just, I've never seen a performance like that in my life. Absolutely stunning. And he is great in this film. The acting is great. The scenes are fantastic. A lot of it takes place in Cartagena, Colombia, a place I have visited. I lived in South America for almost 5 years, mostly in Peru, but I did go to Colombia. I went to Ecuador, Venezuela, Chile, Buenos Aires, those areas. And Cartagena is fantastic. What's really trippy is that when I went, this was like between 2005 and 2007, 2008, I was completely unaware that all of this shit was going on. Of course, you're a tourist. You're just going to see the nightlife. and we were recording musicians, street musicians. That was our gig for Howling Earth, which was a project I was involved with for several years. So the idea is that we went there, we would record street musicians everywhere. Wherever we could get to, we recorded these street musicians. And yeah, during that time, obviously, all this shit was going down. This was, stuff that was tracked through the 1990s and into the 2000s by this guy, the lead character. And so, in any case, it's a great film, and I highly recommend it if you get a chance. I'm going to show you a couple of things which are kind of surprising. Yeah, now this is from the Washington Examiner. Sound of Freedom holds on to third place at box office as Barbie and Oppenheimer debut. Absolutely amazing. And at this time, now this was July. Okay, they updated that. No, it isn't. They did not. This was July 23rd. And July 23rd, it was, they say it had just made under 125 million. It's been another week, so it's approaching definitely 150 million by this time, which is just astounding. And just going up against all of these huge freaking Hollywood movies, it's hilarious. Like Barbie, of course, they have the new Mission Impossible film, and of course Oppenheimer, which I'm definitely interested in seeing as well. But this is what's really, this might shock you. I'm well aware of this, even in the no budget indie cinema world, folks. This is how the shit goes down with cost versus profit on a film. It's just absolutely astounding. So I took a look at this, and this is pretty good website, StephenFollows.com. And he gives a great breakdown on a particular film. And he's just saying that this film grossed $91 million. It cost, what was the budget on the damn thing? The budget was $30 million originally. And when it all came down to it, after minus distribution fees, sales agents' cost, and the sales agents' fees, when it came down to it, the investors made $1.7 million, and the producers, it's a split, 50-50, made $1.7 million. Yes, that's off a $30 million film that grossed $90 million. So, approximately, the way I look at this and compare it to The Sound of Freedom, a couple of things. The first thing is that with this film, his theoretical film here, they have a print and ad cost of $35 million. Sound of Freedom may have had $10 million, which is why I rounded it up to about $25 million total. It had a $14 million budget. So you add the P&A, you got about $25 million. So all in all, because of its low costs on the front end, and the fact that it's now gone over 125 million, as I say, approaching 150 million, it's more like the producers and investors have are probably splitting about $40 million. So 20 million each, which, I mean, is like, it's a ton of money. But when you consider that it's grossed 125 million, it's stunning how much money goes to the sales agents, the distribution fees, and prints and ads. Absolutely stunning, but that's just the reality of it, folks. So in any case, that was my little presentation on The Sound of Freedom. I highly recommend it. Look, it's just a great film. if you just went into, you wanted to watch a crime thriller, this one's like an international crime thriller, you would like it. It definitely delivers. I found only a couple of scenes were a little redundant, maybe. They, could have, like, I don't know. They could have kind of left them out because they'd already kind of done something similar. However, that being said, and a lot of films do that, I mean, redundancy is this part of the thing. But it's a great film. Highly recommended. And that is my presentation. Oh, yes. And we are about to, of course, dive into, before we get to the noir, we're going to be taking a little look, of course, at the Bud Plant, because Bud's Art Books has gotten a couple of things I think you're going to want to see. Okay. Very interesting stuff has arrived at Bud's Art Books. But before we dive into Bud's, let me check back with the chat, because I've noticed they've done some stuff. They've talked about a few things. A few people have joined us. I can see that. Oh, there we go. Eric says Nancy Allen yummy. Yes, indeed, she is. Good Lord, so hot. I mean, is it any surprise that, Brian De Palma was blanking her? No, I would say no. Chad is on the scene. Hello, Chad. Werewolf says, I like British bot, or as we say, bum. There we go. There we go, folks. I do like British bot as well. I'm really digging this stuff.
Never mind the bollocks. Here's Horror Mike.
Oh, that didn't work. Hold on. That was kind of bizarre. It was not behaving. Oh, here's a little more Nancy.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's the Horror Mike Show.
Yeah, that's Nancy Allen in Dress to Kill, by the way. Ungodly, believably sexy. Nancy Allen. You got to see the film. I got a trailer. We're going to take a look at the trailer and the film because it is now on Tubi, folks. Oh, yes, it is. But let's get back to the comments. Werewolf says, Sound of Freedom is a word-of-mouth film. Must be good then. Yeah, a lot of word of mouth. They spent $10 million on P&A. Prints and ads is nothing. I mean, Jesus, sometimes, when you see a movie, one of these movies like Barbie, and it says, yeah, $200 million budget. Well, it's either one of two things. 50 million or more of that is prints and ads. Or there's yet another huge sum on top of the 200 million. So those types of films have got to make a shit ton of money to actually see a return. I mean, hundreds of millions of dollars easily for, your huge budget Hollywood films. In this case, not big budget, $14 million film, maybe 10 million on the P&A. Maybe you got 25 million total. So it's not a hell of a lot to overcome. And they did it in a week. The movie fucking made money, was actually in the black in about 7 days, I think. And now it's just gravy. I mean, the film is just kicking ass. Shadowhawk is on the scene. Hello, Shadowhawk. How you doing? Good to see you, man. Michael Taylor, Mike, what's the deal with this movie? Why is it so hot? Word of mouth, and it's a good movie, Michael Taylor. That's why. Highly recommended. Sound of Freedom. Check it out. Once again, it works alone as an international crime thriller. The fact that it is real and it is happening today makes it socially, politically relevant. And of course, you got a lot of people that do not want, you got a lot of people in the current administration that do not like this film. No likey the film. And I think you know why. Okay, let me just put it that way to you. Yeah. Meyer says, looking forward to watching Sound of Freedom. It's a good one. I mean, I haven't even been to the cinema. It's been at least 3 or 4 years because there's just not fucking anything worth it. I wanted to go to the cinema to watch this because I heard a lot about it. And I just had to check it out. I was like, God, you know, how good is this film? This film is good. It's not just, you know, oh yeah, go see it to support the cause, which is good. It's, you know, that's a good thing to do. But see it because it's a good movie. It's suspenseful. Man, there's some action sequences that are awesome in this film. The acting is great. The settings are fantastic. Just really quite a film. Meyer says, my parents used to live in Bogota. My older sister was born there. Wow, man. You know, I lived in Bogota for about 10 months, Meyer. Two different times. One time was for about 6 months, and then one time was for 4 months. And it was when we were recording the music, street musicians, the buskers, as they like to be called. And we recorded a ton of artists in Bogota. If you go to howlingearth.com, you will see it. We were all over it. I'm putting this in the chat. It's howlingearth.com. That's the website. I created it. I'm still running it. There is a YouTube site if you want to watch the videos there. And we go all over the place. It's not just music though. Like for instance, we tended to like wander about, and we didn't have like, there's no doubt about it. We didn't have guides. It wasn't one of those fucking things. We just went around, and what it was is that it's relatively cheap to live in many of the countries in South America. Like for instance, you could live in Colombia for $600 a month. I mean, everything paid. And so what we would do is my partner in Howling Earth, who is a Brit, we would go over to South America for like 5 or 6 months. We would film a ton of videos and then go back home and work for 5 or 6 months, get the money, go back. And we did this for 2.5 years, you know, so we did like 5 trips all in all. And we recorded over 150 music videos. Now, these are street musicians videos, no bullshit, no overdubs, nothing. Absolutely fantastic. And occasionally, for instance, like we would be in I remember this quite clearly. We were in the upper Amazon basin in Ecuador, and we found this shaman who had a what they call a jardín medicinal, and that's just it's a medical garden, for lack of a medicine garden, medical garden, where he would grow all these plants for medicinal use. And one of the things that he would concoct, of course, was ayahuasca. And so we did that. We made the video where we went out into his freaking jardín, which is gigantic. I don't know how many acres this thing was, in the jungle. And he cut down the plants. There were 7 different plants used for the ayahuasca. We spent the entire day filming this as he took the plants, boiled them down. It's a huge process. It takes hours. And you get down to the ayahuasca juice. And of course, that night we took the ayahuasca and had very strange visions, to say the least. And we were recording it, you know. So if you're interested, I don't know if it's on the Howling Earth. Let me take a look here. See if I can find the oh God. Where the fuck is it? What the hell? Well, there's that. Oh, there it is. How weird. Okay. Yeah, there's 49 videos here. I'm not quite sure if he. Let me put this in the. Just to show you guys. I put the link in the chat. I'm going to show you guys the videos here on the Howling Earth site. Now, the Brit runs the Howling Earth YouTube site. I run the website, howlingearth.com. Some of these guys are just absolutely. We had these guys in Peru that did Polish Creole, a combination of Peruvian polka. Let me see if I can get this rolling. Shit. Okay. That's just an example. As you can see, the sound recordings were actually pretty good. I'm trying to find the ayahuasca thing, though. I did find the Venezuelan El Callao Carnival. That fucking stuff is pretty nuts, pretty crazy. Some of these motherfuckers are just absolutely stunning. Yeah, Candela Viva is pretty amazing. All right. Okay. The fuck. There we go. In any case, folks, that is the Howling Earth YouTube site. I gave you the website before. I don't see the ayahuasca on here, which is kind of weird. There's the website that I created. And it just goes by country. Gives a little about Colombia. And you got the map of Colombia. There's Bogota, pretty much dead center. Medellin, Cartagena on the coast. We hit all of those. Cali, San Augustine, which is down here. Just an incredible. San Augustine is something else, man. I've never seen anything like that. Where is that? I don't know. But a ton of groups from Bogota, no doubt about it. There's San Augustine. Okay. How weird. Amazon. Let's take a look. Yeah, there's Jardín Botánico. Now, I have the video on there. Yeah, this is San Augustine, which is, as it says here, 10 hours south of Bogota, Colombia. Small town, 18,000 people, but it has the ruins of a civilization that no one knows who they are. Literally by name, they have yet to find out. These are some of the statues that they left behind. As I wrote, key archaeological area in South America. A pre-Incan civilization still shrouded in mystery. Even their actual name is still unknown. Archaeologists have uncovered a mere 10% of the statues and ruins. It is theorized that huge Mayan-like pyramids and other structures remain buried throughout the area. Freaking crazy. Take a look here. Yeah, this is the guy I met there, Luis Salazar. And yeah, absolutely fantastic. Just incredible statues and ruins that exist in San Augustine. In any case, that's kind of that's the gist of that. What the fuck is going on here? Okay, sorry about that. What? Yeah. Yeah, fuck. All right. There we go. Oops. What the fuck happened there? I guess I just killed it. All right, guys. So in any case, that's, I don't know how the fuck. Oh yeah, Meyer mentioned that his parents used to live in Bogota, older sister, and that the last video of the dancers, that was in Cartagena, Colombia, and that is where a lot of this film takes place, The Sound of Freedom. So you know, just incredible, man. Absolutely amazing street musicians. That was our thing. You know, we were just like, man, the street music in South America is insane. That's what propelled us to do Howling Earth, to do this project. And, you know, I think we got some really great recordings overall. This was pre-HD. So there you go. It's all SD stuff, you know, but I think the sound is really good. They were 2 camera shoots. I had a camera, he had his. And so we just edited 2 camera shoots, you know, pretty simple. And I think it worked out really well. So in any case, let's get down to it here. Two-Face, have you ever made an adult film? No. But I have made, most of my films are for adults, including First Man on Mars, Two-Face. So you should head on over to my site, horroranthologymovies.com, and pick up a Blu-ray copy of my film First Man on Mars, because it's quite exciting. And I think that you'll find the titillation factor to be through the roof. It goes to 11, my good man. Michael Taylor says, Mike, I think we may have a problem in the chat. It's Two-Face. Hunter Biden, is that you? Yeah. Oh, yeah, she's too old. But in any case, Eric says, don't get too raunchy. Yeah. Too late. Hello, PBR Street Gang. How are you doing? God, man. Ah, here we go. PBR says, just watch Toxic Avenger on Tubi. Movies like that are just good for us. They are. Toxic Avenger is awesome. As a matter of fact, I thought they had 3 of the Toxic films on Tubi. PBR. I may be mistaken, but I think it is true. Werewolf says, I've heard good things about the movie. Talk to me about the movie. I don't know which one. It's been too long. It's been an hour, Werewolf. They've just gotten down to the chat. Werewolf, oh, do I appear in the Howling Earth videos? No, I am the camera. I work best behind the camera, you know, as a filmmaker, Werewolf. I don't do the, I try to stay out of my films as much as possible. You can see there are some photos of us on the Howling Earth website. If you go over there, we just have a couple of photos of us, you know. It's like, here's the crew type of shit, you know. Werewolf says, it's amazing what you can achieve when you don't have a smartphone. Yeah. Meyer says, this is great, Mike. Serpent and rainbow vibes. It did. It definitely did, Meyer. At some point when we were in the Amazon and we went across, we ended up taking a boat. Jesus, I'll never do this again in my fucking life. 6-day boat ride, slow boat, right? With like, I don't know, 500 people on it. God. And a hammock. Jesus. Down the Amazon, but literally from Manaus, Brazil to Leticia, Colombia. And fascinating, but I would never do that again. Yeah, it's just six days on a slow boat it's almost insane. It's kind of insane. Of course, you know, Iquitos, Peru, which is near Leticia, is famous for a number of reasons. You guys may have seen the great Werner Herzog film starring Klaus Kinski called Fitzcarraldo. Well, that's where, in and around that area of Iquitos, is where the film takes place. This guy wants to bring opera to the Andes. Incredible. So he drags this huge boat across the Andes with all the stuff, you know, in the boat. A lot of people died. Incredible movie. If you ever get a chance to see it, Fitzcarraldo. And there's a bar, Fitzcarraldo's in Iquitos, you know, which is totally cool. Yeah. So it's wild and crazy in the Amazon, man. You know, I mean, it was a childhood dream. The first time I saw The Creature from the Black Lagoon, I was like, I am going to the Amazon. There's no doubt about it. It's going to happen. And fortunately, it did, you know. And we got to film some really great shit in and around the Amazon region. Eric says, I will check that website out. Very intriguing. Sounds like you had an incredible experience. Yes, it was. It was quite incredible. Absolutely no budget experience. We already had our cameras. I was already, you know, I was being a filmmaker. So I had the gear. So it didn't cost anything except for getting down there. And at that time, you know, we're talking 2005 to 2007, 2008, right in there. You could get a flight from Florida, from Miami to Colombia or Venezuela for like $250 round trip. It was cheap as hell. So think about it. It's just like we used to have to get the ticket, go down there, and then you're staying in hostels, some of which are like $5 a night. So consider that, you know, $5 to $10 maximum. So even if you're paying $10 a night for a hostel, which is high end for me, anyways, that's what, 30 days. That's $300. So there you go. That, and thusly, I'm saying you could live down there for about, at that time, you could have lived there for about $600, which was what I did. That's pretty much what I had as far as the budget. Where it says the only thing that puts me off is the killer creature, something which enticed Mike probably. Yeah, man. You know, I mean, we had some fucking, I don't know if my pal Justin ever got photos, but the night after we stayed at the Jardin Medicinal that night when we took the ayahuasca, you know, because it takes a little while to come down. You just don't want to go, you know, traipsing off to the next town when you're under the influence of ayahuasca. So we were in a hut, you know, the guy's like, here, you can stay in this hut. Oh my God. So, you know, we're in there, still can't sleep. It was just one of those things. We're coming down on the ayahuasca, and I go to the doorway, and there's moonlight, so you can see kind of like the outline of the door. And I go up to the doorway, and I notice something hanging in the middle of the doorway, like just hanging there. And I take a look, and it is a huge fucking spider. And this spider has come down on his way. I mean, the body, I kid you not, folks, I would say the body of the spider was the size of an egg. Let's put it that way. And its arms were closed in, you know. And I was like, hey, Justin, come here. You got to check this fucking thing out. And he came up and he was like, holy shit. I mean, we were just like, yeah, we're not going to disturb this fucking thing. So we just went back inside the hut and crashed, finally slept, and just left that big ass spider alone. But I will never forget that. I don't know if he took photos of that either. We were both, you know, pretty out of it. But still, you know, at that point, the hallucinatory effects were gone. But that was one of the critters. Of course, we saw some, you know, gators and dolphins. There are Amazon dolphins. I think they're called bolos down there. They're pinkish dolphins in the Amazon River and other rivers, tributaries. And people go there. Of course, they go to check them out. A myriad of snakes all over the freaking place, man. You know, obviously, it's the Amazon. And of course, the birds are pretty insane. I mean, you go into a bar on the Amazon River, and inevitably they got birds in there, you know, just kind of hanging out, of course, stuff like that. Yeah, really amazing. Absolutely amazing. And of course, some fucking biting insects, flying biting insects that, you know, a can of Raid is not going to cure. I'm telling you, these things are, I don't even know what, you know. Eric says, wow, I didn't know this pre-Incan civilization that is not named existed. All of this has me interested. We'll definitely read and watch all of this. Yeah, it's the Howling Earth site there, guys. Just, I'm going to put it up here so you guys can check it out again. There it is. howlingearth.com. That's the site I still maintain, and it's got a ton of the videos on it. That is the pre-Incan site. These are statues left by the civilization. They don't even know the name of the civilization. It's really trippy. Yeah, it's just jokes. We do have, I mean, we have known with the yeah. Well, Eric is absolutely correct. We've had problems with prawn bots, and we had the great prawn bot war, Two-Face. which if you watch one of my previous videos, it's not too, like maybe from 2 weeks ago, there's a video on the prawn bot wars because we had them, and it was a pain in the arse. Okay, all good. Yeah, good. Thanks for joining us, Two-Face. Good to see you. Michael Taylor says, I could be wrong, but I think there's anacondas there. Oh, there are anacondas. Just ask Ice Cube. You know what I'm saying? And I think that you do. Werewolf says, hopefully Mike will make an adult film. Werewolf versus the Nudist Colony. Well, that's still just a soft core. Now, I would not have any hardcore activity. Obviously, the goal is to, you have plenty of nudity because, of course, it is a nudist colony. But it's just, it's like a soft core film, a horror film. It really is, with just a lot of nudists running around. That'd be the key. Hotel Orloff Gratu is here. Hello, Gratu Orloff. Good to see you, sir. Eric says you can also check out Witch Tales Halloween Horror Anthology from Horror Mike. Thank you, sir. I appreciate the plug on that. I am going to get into that more now because, man, I just went to the store today. I don't know if you guys have noticed. They're already putting up the Halloween decorations. Have you guys noticed this? It's great. Of course, I love it. It's July 28th, folks, and they're already doing the Halloween. Now, that's something I can get behind, okay? I can totally dig it, But they're starting, it seems like they're starting a little early, which is fine with me. No doubt about that. So there's going to be more Halloween-oriented stuff coming up on the Horror Mike show, guys, of course, because I know you guys, you all dig the horror, the Halloween season as I do. And yeah, so that's definitely going to happen.
Never mind the bollocks. Here's Horror Mike.
Ma'am, thank you, Anna. Honor Blackman, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to have a lot of fun with those folks.
Oh God, yes. Horror Mike, don't stop now.
I could do this all night. I've made several, folks. These are quite good.
Horror Mike gets me hot.
It's another one. Although I like the Never Mind the Bollocks one. And
ladies and gentlemen, it's the Horror Mike Show.
That's just too sweet. Too sweet. In any case, guys. Meyer says there are tiny piranhas that swim up your urethra. Yep. Some people pay money for this. Oh, God. I don't know about that, but I definitely, they're kandaru. Is that what they're called? The kandaru fish? They literally swim up your dick hole. It's freaking incredible. God, man. And that was one of the things. We swam in a couple of areas in the Amazon. And I was just like, fuck it. Maybe there's piranhas in here. Maybe there aren't. I don't know. But there weren't. I mean, it's one of those things, man. A lot of that shit is a bit hyped. Now, if you keep going, if you're, you live there and you're in the water a lot, you're going to have encounters. But, it's like going swimming here in Florida and, coming up against a gator or something. The chances are slim and none. You might see one, but actually, being accosted by one is another thing. PBR Street Gang, you are correct. All of the Toxic Avengers are on Tubi, folks. I may have to line those up for another show, PBR. And, besides those, some other trauma films, Werewolf says it's very expensive, but totally worth it, Meyer. At least that's what I've heard. God, that's just sick. Werewolf says, I ain't going to any country where you need a gun to kill a spider. Now, look, Werewolf, you're in Australia, home to some of the most dangerous animals on the face of the earth. There's a spider, which is not only one of the most dangerous, I guess, what do they call them? We want to say poisonous spiders. This thing can bite through a leather boot. You've seen them. Those fucking things, they kill people. They've killed people. They're Australian. And they're quite aggressive. Not only that, of course, you have the sharks. You have a variety of other animals. Of course, the kangaroos, which, can kick the shit out of people, as we've seen in some rather humorous videos. Michael Taylor says, pink dolphins, very cool. Yes. Michael Taylor also says, it's never too early for Halloween. Agreed. Michael Taylor. Eric says, Ingrid Pitt. Yes. We love Ingrid Pitt. Good Lord. It's got to happen again.
Horror Mike gets me hot.
Sorry about that, guys. I should have done this.
Horror Mike gets me hot.
There we go. That's what I wanted to do, folks. That's the deal right there. So in any case, without further ado, let us go quickly to our favorite guy over there in Bookland, Bud's Art Books. Oh, there's some goodies. Folks. There's some awesome shit from PS Art Books. Oh my God. Not only that, but here we go. This is what I wanted to start on. Now, there's a couple of things about this that, in the first place, look, it's Illustrators Quarterly, issue number 14, right? They've got soft cover and hardcover. It's all a history of the Warren magazines, right? And that's fantastic. I'm sure these are excellent. I would, in a second, I would, if they had it on whatever the hell it is, Kindle or digital download, I would get one. But okay, it's a magazine. The soft cover is $46. The deluxe hardcover is $110. And I looked into it further. And I'm like, it's going to be great. There's no doubt about it, man. New printing, revised and expanded with 8 more pages. Our highest recommendation. Covers famous monsters of filmland, screen thrills, creepy, eerie Vampirella, 1984, The Spirit, Comics International. Yes. Of course, you got Richard Corbin, Wrightson, Neil Adams, Ditko, Toth, Frazetta, Wood, Severin, Crandall, Infantino, Nino, and many more. Okay. Holy shit. Okay, here's the thing. And it's $46. It's a magazine, folks. And it's 144 pages. Now, what? That's all I got to say. I'm just going to say, what? I would expect a magazine like this to be $20. And that's kind of high end. $20 for a magazine. Look, you go to Barnes and Noble or whatever, go to their magazine racks. You'll see like Fangoria, I believe it's $10. Other, similar magazines in the horror genre, they seem to be around $10, maybe $12. And they have full color. They got color photos, slick pages, blah, blah, blah. Usually 100 pages, something like that. $46. I don't know where I don't know. I just don't know. And the hardcover of this is $110. No. Okay, that's all I'm saying. Sorry, man, but I would get a digital download because I'm sure this is awesome. But I would not pay $46. So that's just me, Now, they do have the Simpsons Treehouse of Horror Ominous Omnibus Volume 2. For anybody interested, that's $40. And we jump right into a couple of PS art books. Adventures into the Unknown, Volume 21. Midnight Comics, Volume 1 hardcover. Michael Golden's Marvel Stories Artist Edition. 150 smackers, folks. Woo! Now, they do have Frank Herbert's Dune, the graphic novel, Book 2. Deluxe Collector's Edition for $50. I don't know anything about that, but I'm sure there's a few Dune fans in the chat. You might be interested. Let me just, without further ado, I'm going to throw this into the chat. Jacob is here. Hello, Jacob, how's it going? Eric says Horror Mike wants a venomous snake to pop up through his toilet and bite him in the nether regions for funsies. Good Lord. Michael Taylor, that illustration mag looks pretty cool. A bit high, though. Yeah, as far as I'm concerned, it's really high. God. And there's the link, the Bud's art book link for the new arrivals, folks. If you are interested, now check it out. They got Conga, Volume 1 from PS Art Books. Cool. Weird Mysteries, Volume 1. Oh, yes. Now, I've got these in the hardcover slipcased editions. And just to show you, it's a sign of the times, folks. I don't know if you can read that or not, but it says on Weird Mysteries, Volume 1, which I have, $32.99. Well, I got the hardcover slipcased edition for $29. This is just a soft cover. What has gone? I mean, prices have gone through the roof, I'm afraid, on these PS art books. Military Comics, Volume 1. But check these out. Oh, my God. War Stories Combat, Volume 6. Now, okay, I get you. I got you. All right. These are facsimile editions of the comics. Oh, man. Holy Toledo. Check it out. We got to kind of go up close and personal here. Suspense Comics, folks. It's L.B. Cole with cover art by Alex Schomburg. Now, that is one wicked freaking cover. Oh, my God. This is one of those holy grail comic books. I think some people in the audience would agree. Some people may even have them. Gratu may have this this comic book. Captain Strangelife may have this. It is up there. It's up there, man. One of the great covers. Schomburg, you got L.B. Cole on the scene, Jack Alderman. Oh, my God. Don Rico, art with Manny Stallman in here. Just a great one. So this is a facsimile of the comic book, $16. That's about the going rate. It's PS art book, so the reproductions are going to be excellent, as good as anybody else can do it. Let's put it that, and certainly usually better than anybody else can do it. Let me put it that way. So there you go with Suspense Comics number 3. Then they got Suspense Comics number 6. And this fantastic Suspense Comics number 8. Another Holy Grail. Suspense Comics had several Holy Grail issues. This L.B. Cole cover is just nuts. It's out of this world, man. L.B. Cole is just, look, as far as I'm concerned, I see something like this, and to me, it jumps out more than most EC Comics covers because it's fucking insane. It's like these people that are trapped in a web, and there's this freaking spider, which is part Black Widow, but it has a skull face. And then it has this mysterious dude in the background. The colors are fantastic. It just jumps off the page. L.B. Cole, man. Just a genius in comics. Now they claim, okay, they fucked up. Oopsie, bud. Yeah, they unfortunately they say Suspense Comics number 3 features interior art by L.B. Cole with a cover by Alex Schomburg. No, this is Suspense Comics number 8, and that cover is by the one and only L.B. Cole. Okay, folks. Once again, it's a facsimile, $15.99. Reasonable. Seriously. God, I wish they did this one with the, matted print, the enlarged matted print. Woo! That would look great on my wall. Okay, folks? That's what I'm saying right now. Wow. Wow. God. So I had to do that. I had to bring you over to Bud's Art Books, folks, because this is some hot stuff. It's just great to see that they're doing these facsimile editions. I hope they come out with a volume of Suspense Comics. Maybe they already have. I haven't seen it. I don't know. But let's take a look. Oh, there's some good comments. Oh, these are some good comments. Yes. Meyer says, can't go wrong with Conga. That you are correct 100%. Meyer, Eric says, the Conga comics were based off the movie of the same name. Indeed, British actor Michael Gough, who also played Alfred in the Tim Burton Batman movie, was in it. Useless trivia, but great. I love Michael Gough, by the way. He was in some classic sci-fi and horror films from probably the 50s through the 70s. I want to say Michael Gough, man. Really fine British actor. He played some excellent characters. And I do recall him from the Tim Burton Batman. Michael Taylor says, very sought after covers. Yeah. Woo, they are expensive. Meyer says, nice Bohemian Grove cover on the Suspense Comics. Yes. That's that first one, folks, with the ritual where it looks like they're about to sacrifice the woman. That's very Bohemian Grove-ish looking. Absolutely, Meyer. I'm in a total agreement. Michael Taylor says 16 is worth it for books like that. Yeah, look, if the reproductions are going to be great, which they always are with PS Art books, that's just the going rate. You can get lesser ones on eBay, but it's lesser quality reproductions. Let's put it that way. Eric says, is that Suspense Comics number 8 a holy grail due to that cover? Yes. As a matter of fact, I would say those two, the Bohemian Grove cover and the spider skull, are primarily due to the covers. Look, let's be honest here, folks. A lot of the a lot of comic books are, the value is the cover. That's all there is to it. You got a crappy cover, typically it's not sought after. It's just one of those things. Comic books, here's how it goes. 50% of the value is in the cover. If it's a hot ass cover, you can have the sky's the limit. And these are, I can't even tell you really about the art inside these, although they got some really great artists, as we saw there. I mean, look, you got L.B. Cole, You got Alex Schomburg cover. This is a Schomburg cover, the Bohemian Grove. Jack Alderman, Manny Stallman, and Don Rico. So, and Lou Fairstadt and Tony DiPreta. So, yeah. So there you go. You got various artists, and they're good. I have a feeling it's not crap. However, it may not all be horror. I have a feeling it's probably a mix, maybe some jungle comics and maybe some crime thrown in with the horror, you know. But man, oh man, that is just one wicked ass cover right there. That one and this one, which is almost hallucinatory. I mean, that's the thing about L.B. Cole. He has this ability with his art to make it just kind of like you're looking at it going, what? I mean, whoa, okay. The room is spinning. What the hell's going on? It's just, I don't know. I don't know how to describe it. The guy was just an absolute master. One of my favorite artists of the pre-code by far. Top 5. I'd put him in the top 5. Just wicked as hell. Eric absolutely bucks with that one. Yeah, God, they're frightening, folks. I mean, it's been years. These were selling for thousands years ago. I don't even want to think about it now. Werewolf says, might sell my entire collection just for one or two of those suspense comics. Yeah, I know. That's the thing, man. You look at them, you're just like, God. But now there's the other thing, though, Werewolf. You could keep your collection and just get the facsimiles for $16. Because I'm telling you, man, the facsimiles of these comic books, I've got 2 of them, right? From PS Art Books, and they're great. I just did that one. You guys saw that. The Chilling Tales number 15. It's great, man. The comic book is fantastic. It's great. Michael Taylor says, Mike, did that spider you saw have a skull for a head? It may have. I didn't see the head. It was kind of like all like kind of how do I even explain? It was curled up into itself, like it had come down on the web, and you could just really see its body, which was fucking huge, and its legs wrapped around its body. Hard to see the head, but it could have been a skull. Michael Taylor. It could have been. Eric says, some people may poo-poo the notion of facsimile and reprint comics, but who the F can afford the original? That's exactly it, Eric. You just hit it right on the head. Look, man, once in a blue moon, and I mean a really blue moon, I might go after an original. I mean, look, I used to, because that was my kind of my job. You know, I basically bought and sold these comic books and original art. That was a big thing for several years. I was doing that, and I held on to a few. I still have some pre-code comic books, you know. Not many, though. I'd say maybe a dozen. That's about it. And none of them are holy. There's only one. It's Mr. Mystery that is technically, it's sought after. People love it. But mine is missing a few pages. The cover is great. It's in great shape, but it is missing a few pages. So I just keep it because I love it so much. I could sell it still with missing pages. That's the incredible thing about pre-code comics. Doesn't really matter. Tell somebody, yeah, it's missing some pages. I don't care. I'll give you 200 for it. It's just insane shit. It's crazy. Jacob says, Eric, those covers absolutely justify getting a facsimile, just ain't happening with 95% of collectors. Yeah, that's true. Well, here's the thing, Jacob. I've said this before, and I think many of you would agree. Collectors, I mean, look, as a collector too, like if I get an original, I'm not going to keep taking that original out and reading it. As a matter of fact, I may never read it. The idea would be you get the facsimile and you read that. You know what I'm saying? You can ogle the original comic book once, and then put it back in its Mylar with the, backing board and seal that sucker up and then read your facsimile comic. That's the way to go. That is absolutely the way to go, man. Eric says Planet Comics, great covers. Agreed, man. Who was that chick that did some of those? Lily Renee. Lily Renee did some really hot Planet Comics covers. She died not too long ago, just less than 2 years ago, I believe. Of course, into her 90s again, man. But totally agree. Go to Comic Books Plus for a review. Yeah, all public domain, by the way. Just an aside. Yep, Comic Book Plus is great for checking out a lot of these pre-code horror, sci-fi, jungle, you name it, pre-code comics, crime comics. Michael Taylor says, unlike books of today that have good covers but crappy interior art, those books are nothing like that. Yeah, you would get, Michael Taylor, just to be honest. I mean, some comics back in that time, yes, they had fantastic covers and kind of mediocre interiors. But for the most part, here's how it goes. Like, you buy the comic book, whether or not it's the original or the facsimile. For us, I'm talking about today. Who the hell? I mean, I can only imagine being a kid in the 50s and going to a news rack. Oh my God, it's just hard to even believe. But so you pick up your issue of, Chilling Tales or Suspense, and inevitably there's going, out of the 5 stories, probably 1 or 2 of them are going to be very good. And that's more than you can say for a lot of shit today. No doubt about that. There's a lot of bait and switch going on today. It's like almost nothing but bait and switch. It's incredible. Eric says, right on, Jacob. Since they are PD, they have printed off a few as cheap and free wall art. I want to make some t-shirts with them one day, indeed. Jacob says, you still got the signed Joe Sinnott book, Horror Mike? Yes, I do. Absolutely. And I've got the signed, the book on Everett Raymond Kinsler that he signed for me, which is awesome. Who was the other guy? And I've still got a signed Vic Carabata book, too. Werewolf by Lunchtime. Whenever my comic shop has an auction, I only look at pre-1960. In 1960s, everything else is just boring to me. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I look at, I would say it depends. Now, I'm a big Dave Stevens fan. You guys know Dave Stevens was even into the early 90s with his comic book art. He primarily, though, in the 1980s was Dave Stevens. I just love that shit. And I love a lot of those, the publishers like Eclipse and Pacific. You guys know. So that's kind of something where it depends on what it is. But there's a lot of 70s, 80s stuff that I could totally dig the hell out of. Marvel was doing some really good stuff in the 70s. I think you guys would all agree. But primarily for me, it's like, 1940 to 1955. That's pretty much it. When the code hit, shit just went south. PBR Street Gang, collect comics myself, mostly Treasury and Artist Edition stuff. Good stuff, man. The Treasuries are really good, and some fantastic Artist Editions. Just speaking of Dave Stevens, awesome Artist Edition for the Rockets here on that one. Michael Taylor, now they have been consistently making facsimiles of great golden, silver, and bronze age book along with the ads, everything. That's the one I just love it, man. Everything's in there. They haven't taken out anything. All of the great old ads. Fantastic. Werewolf says, I have most Dave Stevens, but of course there are exceptions. Yeah, I don't have everyone, but I've got a pretty good amount of Dave Stevens stuff, And once again, the documentary, which is on Canopy, is now on Tubi. I think it's called Drawn to Perfection. The Dave Stevens documentary. Highly recommended, folks. Check it out. Oh, my only complaint is it's too short. And they don't get into when he was a teenager in Portland, Oregon, where he started. That was a huge part. They just left it out. All right, guys. We are going directly, of course, to our favorite movie spot, as you know. Good Lord. And boy, are we getting into some noir. Oh yes, folks. This is going to be good. Oh, my God. It's Noir Night on the Horror Mike Show. Did I already do this? Is that correct? Yes, that is correct. Okay. We got it. Ooh-wee. Now, I just had to get this one out of the way first, folks. It's a Tubi original. The Lurking Fear. Now, some of you may know right off the bat, go, The Lurking Fear. Wow, they've done another Lovecraft adaptation? No. This has nothing to do with H.P. Lovecraft's The Lurking Fear. They've simply taken the title and they've applied it to a new horror film for 2023, and it's a Tubi original. I just wanted to point that out to people that might run across this on Tubi and go, ooh, new Lovecraft. No, it is not. So I just wanted to make sure that you guys were aware of that. Tubi is pulling a fast one. Okay. That's all there is to it. On the other hand, here we go. We're diving into the noir, horror noir, with the fantastic 1980 Brian De Palma classic, Dressed to Kill. Oh boy, Nancy Allen is just, hi. What can be said? That's all I can say. Dressed to Kill 1980. A psycho killer stalks two women, a frustrated housewife and a street-smart hooker who teams up with the first woman's son to set a trap. Of course, Nancy Allen, Angie Dickinson, Michael Caine, Keith Gordon. Directed by Brian De Palma, Dressed to Kill. It's, man, not only, I mean, it's noir as hell. And, it is a crime thriller, but it's horror as well, as only Brian De Palma can do it. And naturally, I had to get the trailer to this, but I'm going to give you a little Nancy Allen first.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's the Horror Mike Show.
I had to do that. But here we go with the trailer. There we go, folks. The trailer. You Dressed to Kill. Highly recommended, man. I just watched it like several nights ago. I've seen it 10 times. It's just a fantastic film. De Palma, like that, what could be said, man? You know, Body Double. I'm waiting for Tubi to get Body Double. I'm so tempted to just get a DVD or Blu-ray of that, but I have a feeling they're going to add that. Body Double is another one. It's just, it's so good. You know, Snake Eyes. I love that one. Nicolas Cage. Of course, Phantom of the Paradise, one of his first films. Absolutely fantastic. Some more noir with Mike Hammer, Private Eye. Yes, Stacy Keach. Remember this one from 1998? This one has 2 seasons. And, of course, it's Mickey Spillane's hard-boiled sleuth. Cracks cases in the chaotic streets of 1990s New York, teeming with danger, deception, and dames. Come on, folks. It's Mike Hammer, Private Eye. Oh, yes. Now, The Great Train Robbery is not noir in particular, but it is fascinating. 1979, of course, Donald Sutherland and Sean Connery leading a great cast. Let me make sure I got that. Yeah. All right. With the directed, not only is it directed by Michael Crichton, but he wrote the screenplay, folks. You know, all I got to say about Michael Crichton is the Andromeda Strain. He wrote the screenplay for that based upon his own novel. And it's one of the greatest science fiction films ever made. No doubt about that. Great Train Robbery. Highly recommended. I'm going to rewatch this one, of course. It's on the list. Can't wait to get into it. Leslie Ann Down. Oh, yes, Leslie Ann Down, folks. In The Great Train Robbery. Woo! Hot, hot, hot. Here we go. Here we go, folks. The Battle of Leningrad. Now, this, of course, is not noir, but I had to add this one because it looked fucking awesome. 2019 film. 1941, 2 young lovers escaping Leningrad find themselves on a sinking ship. Their only hope of rescue comes from enemy planes. I believe it's Russian. I might be mistaken, but most of the World War II Russian flicks I've seen are absolutely fantastic. It's on my list. Definitely going to watch it. Here is literally a film called Budapest Noir. I just watched this a few nights ago. Man, these guys nail it. Yes, it takes place in Budapest, late 1930s. It's a Hungarian film. It is subtitled, okay? However, if you want to see a hard-boiled film noir, watch Budapest Noir. Budapest, 1936. After the Hungarian prime minister and a young woman turn up dead, the only person willing to investigate is a crime journalist named Gordon. And it is fucking awesome. I don't have to really, let's put it this way. It's hot. It's steamy. It is titillating. It's film noir all the way. You just got to check this thing out. Here's a short trailer just to get you warmed up.
Exkluzív kurvái vannak a Farkás utcában. Kitől fél? Ide hallgassanak a szarházi. Felejts el azt a lányt.
Now, if that doesn't get your blood pumping, you're probably dead. You may want to check your pulse. Highly recommended Budapest Noir, folks. It is currently on Tubi. It is just awesome. What a film. And you may recall this one, 1993, Romeo is Bleeding. Remember this one? I have not rewatched it. I have added it to my Tubi, of course. Gary Oldman, Lena Olin, Juliette Lewis, David Proval, James Cromwell, okay, and Annabella Sciorra. What a cast. 1993, Romeo is Bleeding. A crooked cop gets in over his head when his mafia boss instructs him to kill a captivating Russian assassin, but he falls for her instead. Oh, noir out the butt. It's Romeo is Bleeding. Now, this is not noir, but you're going to want to check it out. If you have not already checked it out, it's just fucking awesome. The Dogs of War. What a freaking movie. 1981. God, just amazing. What a time for cinema. This riveting adaptation of Frederick Forsyth's bestseller stars Christopher Walken and Tom Berenger as mercenaries hired by a hired by a shadowy cartel to dethrone an African dictator. Fucking A. This movie just kicks butt. Holy shit. It's The Dogs of War. If you want some good freaking action adventure and kind of war type stuff, you got to check out The Dogs of War, folks. It is freaking awesome. Yes, we're getting back to a little bit of Tura Satana. Oh, yes, with Astro Zombies. Of course, John Carradine right there. Let me see if I can get a little Tura Satana in there. There she is. I don't know if it's going to play it for me, though. Probably not. Oh, well. In any case, the Astro Zombies, 1968, of course, directed by Ted V. Michaels. As luck would have it, a mad doctor's humanoid robots, cobbled together from the body parts of innocent victims, get loose and go on a killing spree. Of course, Tura Satana, John Carradine, Ted V. Michaels. What can be said? If you want some good late 60s exploitation, you're going to want to check out the Astro Zombies. Oh, yes, horror sci-fi, naturally. Slipping back into noir mode, Edmund. Boy, is this a hard film to watch. I mean, it's a fantastic film, believe it or not, directed by the one and only, the great Stuart Gordon. It has horror elements to it. There is no doubt about it. It says thriller, crime, drama. It is dark noir. Very, very dark. An unhappy man loses his moorings when he visits a fortune teller and is steered by her teasing rumination into New York City's hellish underworld. Holy crap. William Macy. Mina Suvari is in this. Bokeem Woodbine. Denise Richards. Julia Stiles. Directed by Stuart Reanimator Gordon. This film is... it is unsettling. It's more than unsettling. It's an incredible film, but you kind of, once you watch it, you may think to yourself, okay, I don't want to watch that film ever again. It's unbelievably dark. That's all I gotta say. Edmund, if you haven't seen it and you're in the mood for something intense and dark and disturbing, watch Edmund. Okay. Now, this one I have not seen. I plan on seeing it. The Catcher Was a Spy from 2018. A Boston Red Sox catcher turned World War II spy is tasked with assassinating a Nazi atomic scientist in this true life thriller. Yes, believe it or not, starring Paul Rudd in the lead role with Jeff Daniels, Paul Giamatti, Sienna Miller, and Guy Pearce also in the cast. And this is definitely, I like, international intrigue thrillers. And this one is just, it's based upon a true story. And it looks really good. Looks really good. I definitely plan on catching that sooner than later. Here we get back into the heavy duty noir. This is what I would call brutal noir, or noir brutal, if you will. The Killer Inside Me. God, I didn't realize just how hardcore this film was. 2010. A charming small-town sheriff is slowly unmasked as a dangerous serial killer when his murder victims start showing up in his jurisdiction. Casey Affleck, who is just creepy as fuck in this film. Kate Hudson, Jessica Alba. I don't even know how they got Jessica Alba to play this role. It's brutal. What happens to her is fucking brutal. Bill Pullman, Ned Beatty, Elias Koteas. What a cast. Okay? And let me put it this way. It's noir. It is brutal. It's also very steamy and sexy. And there's a lot of red asses being slapped in this film. Okay? Including Kate Hudson's and Jessica Alba's. Just to let you know. So it delivers on various degrees, levels, I guess. But The Killer Inside Me, highly recommended. And of course, I had to get the trailer for this one. And here it is.
I love Joyce. And there were times when her voice seemed to whisper to me. Forget it, Lou. It's not too late if you stop now. But then I'd see that it had to be done.
Well, that doesn't make any sense. Don't. I have to travel.
Baby, you aren't going anywhere. I bet they had it coming. Well, nobody has it coming to them. That's why nobody can see it coming.
There you go. The trailer to The Killer Inside Me. Highly recommended. Very dark film noir starring Casey Affleck. And he's really quite good in it. I was really impressed. He's just a fucking... you just have to see it to believe it. I think that's that's where we are with that. Fucking hell, man. Okay, guys, I'm going to go to the commentary. I see some new comments. Yeah. Jacob says Michael Taylor absolutely just got a PS Art book of Captain Science by Wally Wood. Yes, absolutely identical to original copies. Amazing work. Yeah, they are just fantastic. PBR Street Gang says EC Comics renditions of Ray Bradbury's stories are also very good. Yes, they have done some really good repros, man. No doubt about it for the EC Comics. PBR, heck yeah, they are. Michael Taylor, that Stevens doc was very good. I enjoyed it. Great doc, folks. It's on Tubi. Michael Taylor says, I was pleasantly surprised when Tubi finally got the Stevens doc. Yeah, it was on Canopy where I saw it. And suddenly a week later, it was on Tubi. Huh, fancy that. Meyer says, Angie, baby, she's a special lady. Getting slashed in the elevator. Good Lord. Michael Taylor, speaking of Angie Dickinson, Policewoman might be on Tubi or it might not be. PBR Street Gang, Mike Hammer always had the dames. His secretary in the show was a looker. Yeah. Also, you know, I think, isn't Mike Hammer, shit. Am I wrong? Who's, maybe I'm screwed up. Was that Dashiell Hammett who wrote the original Mike Hammer stuff? God, am I getting screwed up there? I think I may be. I don't know. He wrote like the Maltese Falcon and all that stuff. A great writer. He's one of those, you know, noir crime novel writers that he's just such a great writer. Dashiell Hammett. Just fantastic. Michael Taylor says Connery and Sutherland are a great 1-2 punch of great actors. Yes, indeed. Eric says that brunette actress looks like a younger Eva Green. Werewolf says, I hope she's not hiding her mustache. Oh my God. There we go, folks. Werewolf says Gary Oldman can play any role. He pretty much. Yeah, he's one of those guys. I totally agree. Werewolf. Very versatile actor, you know. Werewolf by Lunchtime, he is one of my top 10 favorite actors, says Eric. Yeah, he's just great, man. Fantastic. Eric Tura Satana, good. Oh, that's good. That's good, Tura. Oh, yes. Werewolf says, have you seen Nil by Mouth, which he directed, right? He did direct that one. Yep. You can see a pub I used to go to in that movie in Southeast London. It was tough over there. That's why I left. Man, that's pretty awesome. I remember Nil by Mouth, Werewolf. Love Gary Oldman. This is Jacob. I might have to check this out then. Eric says, no, I haven't. Werewolf, I will see if I can watch it. Thanks. I didn't know any of that. Meyer says, Mike Hammer's Mickey Spillane. Thank you for that correction. Meyer. Okay, guys, let's get back. And we're back to noir with Route 9. Man, if you haven't seen this film, 1998, it's one of those films that, you know, a seemingly easy plan and perfect plan just starts unraveling. It definitely noir bits in it. I would call it kind of it's a crime drama, but it has noir elements. Let's put it that way. When two cops steal over $1 million from a crime scene, they realize that covering their tracks will be a lot harder than they thought. Peter Coyote, Kyle MacLachlan, Amy Locane in this film with some other people that you will recognize right off the bat. Recommended. Route Route 9, excellent. Another one I highly recommend. It is definitely noir, but it, of course, is a comedy as well, because it is The Curse of the Jade Scorpion. Hilarious. This is a 2001 film from Woody Allen. Oh my God. An insurance investigator and an efficiency expert at each other's throats professionally are both lured into stealing jewels for a crooked hypnotist. Charlize Theron, Dan Aykroyd, Helen Hunt, and Charlize Theron are just scorching hot. Scorching, folks. I'm telling you, they scorched the freaking screen in this film. Helen Hunt in a tight sweater. Holy shit. That's all I got to say. Woody Allen, of course, is in the film, and Wallace Shawn, amongst others. It's hilarious. It's just so well done. It's a period piece film, of course, late 1930s, which Woody Allen does so well. The Curse of the Jade Scorpion, and it is hilarious. Oh my God, some of the dialogue, the exchanges between Woody Allen and Helen Hunt, who the characters in the film hate each other, and they just have these hilarious dialogue exchanges. It's fantastic. Love it. What a movie. Highly recommended. And I just kind of suddenly got on a Woody Allen kick, man. Love and Death. This film, I just love this film. 1975, early Woody Allen. Woody Allen invades the spirit of Tolstoy in this hilarious spoof of 18th century Russia, when Napoleon is preoccupied with perfecting his pastry and before Wellington markets his beef. Co-stars Diane Keaton, folks, and Harold Gould is in this. It's great. It is freaking hilarious. Radio Days, just fantastic nostalgia film from Woody Allen. Just love this film. Once again, he works so well with a period piece Americana, and this is set in the 40s. A nostalgic story of an ordinary family in Queens, New York, is told alongside vignettes of radio's golden era of performers. God, what a movie. Mia Farrow, Seth Green, Julie Kavner, Diane Keaton, Josh Mostel, Diane Wiest, Woody Allen, of course, in the film. If you want a great dose, a fantastic dose of radio nostalgia, you got to check out Radio Days. It's just a wonderful film. Highly recommended. And I'm not through with Woody Allen, folks. They have added a ton, and some of his great films. Broadway Danny Rose. Now, this is not noir. However, it is period piece, and it is freaking hilarious. Let's put it this way. A small-time agent whose client list reads like a circus sideshow tries to boost the career of a has-been 1950s singer on the comeback trail. Okay? Mia Farrow, Woody Allen starring in this film, 1984 Broadway Danny Rose. It is freaking fantastic. It is hilarious. I mean, good Lord. Now we're getting into some Woody Allen noir. Shadows and Fog, folks. Check it out. Once again, yes, there are definitely comedic elements to this, but also very dark and suspenseful. Really well done. Talk about a master class in lighting, cinematography. Whoa. Shadows and Fog, 1992. A timid clerk is drafted by a vigilant committee to help capture a Jack the Ripper-style murderer who's been terrorizing the city at night. What a freaking lineup. Woody Allen, John Cusack, Mia Farrow, Jodie Foster, Fred Gwynne, Julie Kavner, Madonna, believe it or not, long before she went totally ape shit. John Malkovich. Okay. What a lineup. 1992, Shadows and Fog. Man, it's just a great film. It's a great film because it balances, it kind of, it's up on this, it does a balancing act between comedy and crime thriller, like dark crime thriller. It is definitely noir. There's no doubt about it. And one of the only people I know that can do comedy and film noir well is Woody Allen. This one, Shadows and Fog and Curse of the Jade Scorpion, highly recommended, folks. Light Sleeper, another one, 1992. Again, I don't know what it was about the early 90s and noir, but this has definitely got a lot of noir elements. Crime drama. John Latour is a good man in a bad business, working for Anne on the wrong side of the law, and he wants out. Will he get out before it's too late? Willem Dafoe, Susan Sarandon, Dana Delaney, Sam Rockwell, Paul Schrader directed. Excellent film. I have not rewatched it. It is on my to-be list. I plan on watching this very soon. Light Sleeper. Of course, Susan Sarandon. Prime. Oh, my God. This is like, right in the Hunger era. She's just scorching hot. Light Sleeper. There you go. This one I am currently watching. I started watching it last night late. And I only got through half of it. It is not a fault of the film. Highly recommended. A grain of truth so far. Let's put it that way. It's definitely got the noir elements to it all the way. This is an international crime thriller. Polish, folks, from Poland. A grain of truth. A maverick prosecutor finds himself dragged into the investigation of a string of ritual killings rooted in Poland's anti-Semitic past in the suspenseful detective thriller, A Grain of Truth, based upon a best-selling novel. A Grain of Truth is a masterfully constructed whodunit that pits the forces of enlightenment against monstrous primeval superstitions. Man, so far, so good. This film is hitting on all cylinders, man. It's got everything going for it. Hot dames, in various degrees of undress. Hard-boiled detective who doesn't give a fuck. Gruesome murders. Oh, my God. Yeah, it's got it all. It's got it all, folks. It's A Grain of Truth 2015. If you like that kind of shit, and I love that kind of shit, you're going to love A Grain of Truth. Unless it just falls apart in the second half, which I don't think so. I have a feeling it's gonna be a killer from Manila. And there we have it, folks. That is our to-be lineup. Oh, yes. For Friday, July 28th, 2023. Eric says, meh on Helen Hunt. Sorry, Horror Mike. Ooh. Well, you might want to check out Curse of the Jade Scorpion, Eric, because she is just smoking. I was kind of like, I was never like a simp for Helen Hunt. I always thought she was a good actress and everything. But I don't know, for some reason in Curse of a Jade Scorpion, with those late 1930s tight sweaters and skirts, holy crap. I was totally impressed. Let's put it that way. Meyer says, again, separating the art from the artist, folks. Some of Woody's stuff is great. Yeah, it's fantastic. There ain't no doubt about it, man. Woody Allen, he's just another one of, I'd consider him another one of, America's great directors. No doubt. Woody has made some brilliant films. Zelig. Ha! Zelig is just hilarious. My God, what a film, man. What a great freaking movie. I don't think it's on Tubi, but there's a ton of Woody on Tubi. And I swear to God, Shadows and Fog, man. If you guys have not seen it, check it out. It is quite good. Michael Taylor says the catcher is a spy, looks interesting. His name was Mo Berg, Major League Baseball player who later served as a spy in World War II. That is it, based on a true story, Michael Taylor. Well, folks, that brings us to the end of another installment of the Horror Mike Show. And, well, I just had to do it again.
Never mind the bollocks. Here's Horror Mike.
Here I am again to say hi and goodbye until we meet again next Friday night for another exciting evening of sci-fi horror, perhaps some crime thrillers and some comedies, along with some really fine exploitation films. I trust Tubi to deliver at least a few more by next week. I'm sure we're going to get some juicy stuff for next week, folks. Yeah, so you guys take care, and I don't think I'm missing anything. I don't know, maybe not. If I did miss something, I'll remember it next week. But we got a few comments before departing. PBR Street Gang says later PBR. Jacob says thanks, Horror Mike. Thank you, Jacob, for being here. Eric, thank you. Everyone have a great weekend. Hasta la vista. Well, Taylor, I love the scene and money. Take the money and run. Yes. That's another great Woody Allen comedy. And I don't think that one's on Tubi yet. I may be mistaken. Just do a search on Woody Allen. You'll find like 10 movies. I swear to God, there's a good 10 movies there of Woody Allen. Werewolf says, wish me luck. Yeah, good luck with the moving, Werewolf, because I can only say this, and I think many would agree. Moving is one of the most fucked up things you can do. In the course of a normal life, the idea of moving from one place to another with all your shit is just... and I've done it so many fucking times. I've lived in my life, I've lived in 10 different states. I've lived in 3 different countries. And I did indeed, when I lived in Peru, I moved all my shit there once. And then I had to bring it back. That was fucking hell. And I know, Werewolf, you've gone from London to Australia, so you kind of know that type of thing. But it sucks. Moving just sucks generally. All right, guys. On that note, good luck, Werewolf. And guys, I will talk to you soon. Have a great weekend. We'll see you next Friday.